Hi guys, today I'll be showing you how to change your brake pads and your rotor on your Honda Civic EX 2016. So first, I'm going to start off by taking off the wheel. Okay, so you got the wheel off. The tools you'll be needing: a 17
and a 3/4
and a 3/4
This
wrench.
is a breaker bar
breaker bar.
and a ratchet angle.
The tools that you'll be needing is
A breaker bar,
breaker bar,
a ratchet angle,
ratchet handle,
a Phillips screwdriver,
a Phillips screwdriver,
and this 6 corner,
6 corners. It is a size 7.
size 7. So first, we have to pull the 2 pins from the caliper.
2 pins from the caliper.
Yeah, we're pulling it. We use the breaker bar first to loosen it up.
So usually it doesn't shake like this, but we
Loosen it up.
took it off before. So you loosen it up, the screws back there with the 7-inch tool.
Then you use the ratchet angle.
Then you get your Phillips screwdriver, you pop it out a little bit
Push it
so it
out.
disconnects from that part.
The caliper disconnected.
So there's two parts. Hold on. There's 2 parts, so that you're gonna unscrew one here and you're gonna unscrew one here. So we already screwed out the other one. Now we're taking off the caliper.
And we remove the brakes.
So now this is the brakes. These are the old brakes, the ones that you'll be replacing. The old brake pad, sorry.
Then you have to move this bracket.
Now you have to move this bracket. We have 2 screws.
With a 17.
So this one here, and you got one here, and the tool you'll be using is the 17.
It can be a little tense, it can be a little tight sometimes.
Yeah, you just have to give it a little push because sometimes the screws can be tight back there. Screws out, you pull this bracket off,
Then
and now
you reach
the rotor.
The rotor.
So now you see this screw here. You're gonna have to take this screw out. So using a Phillips screwdriver.
Sometimes
Sometimes it's a little tight, so
just give it a little top
you just have to get the right size.
and give it a little top. And then you pull it, go on, you pull it.
Now you pull the screw out, and that will release the rotor.
And then
You just pull it off now. Just gotta jiggle a little bit. And there you go, you take off the old dusty rotor. So now you get the new rotor. So this is the new rotor. But before we put this on, we're going to tighten this part back, because sometimes with the caliper back, this part. So the tool that we'll be using, the tool that we'll be using
pushing by the piston
is this here. You can get this at AutoZone. Renting this tool is about $65. You just tell them that you want this tool to change your rotor and your brake pads. So now you use this part. It comes in 2 parts. So this part is 1, and then this part is 2. So the way how it works is, you see the dots here, you just pop it on there and it connects like that magnetically. So the way you're going to tighten this is, you see this little dents right here. You're going to use that same tool, and you're going to use, let me see the tool. You're going to use these 2 right here. You're going to connect it in those dents, and then you're going to push back the piston, which is this is called the piston. So once you connect it, You just twist it. Sometimes this part is a little bit tricky because sometimes the tools just slip out. So you're just gonna have to be a little bit more tense with this item. So you see that he's tightening it now. Yeah, this is the part where it gives a little bit of trouble. Sometimes it might happen to you.
We are going to replace back the rotor, and it have 3 holes. This is the main hole that the screw,
The screw that we took off earlier, that screw is going to go right back into that hole. So make sure that you place it correctly so that same hole matches up with this one here. See how it just goes in that easy? There you go. So now at this point, we're going to put the screw back in. We're going to tighten it. Okay, so now we're going to change the rubbers. The one that is in there, it's an old one, which is these that the screws go in. So we have to change that every time you change the brake pads and the caliper and the rotor.
Use a screwdriver.
So you use a screwdriver to dig it in. You try kind of just pop it out just like that. So now when putting in the new rubber, since it's brand new, it's a little bit tricky. So it's going to give you a little bit of struggle to pop it back in. The best way to do it is bending this part, and then when you bend that part, you're gonna pop it right in there. It's a little bit tricky. You kind of just want to push it in. It takes a little bit of work. A little bit of work. Oh, this one. All right, guys, so once you get it in halfway, what you're gonna kind of want to do is kind of pull it. It's gonna help it pull it, and then you push at some point. It's gonna help it get in there. You just gotta give it a little strength when you're pulling it. And now you push. Pull a little bit more. Pull and push, use both of your hands, then boom, you got it in there. Okay, so now since we got that rubber in on both ends, here and here, now we're gonna pop the screws in from earlier. Same screws, like this. That's holding the holder. So now screwing it in on one part, and then we're gonna get the other screw on the other part. All right, so we have both the screws in there, and then we're gonna tighten it with the tool. In a second. So now we're just tightening it just to make sure it's really tight. Right.
So put on kind of with a breaker bar.
So now you get the breaker bar and just give it one last pull just to make sure it's really in there.
These are the brake pad. This one go to the front of the rotor, which is right here. And this one is the back one. This thing is the warning. When you hear a noise going out when the brake's gone down, this is a warning. So you put it on the back, and then you get back the caliper here, and then lay it back over.
So you see how it just goes on like that? So this is what I was talking about. When we would have to loosen the piston, which is the big circle thing right here, that uses this special tool so it can go on the new brakes properly. If you do not tighten it, it's not going to go on properly.
And we put him at the
So now
in.
we're putting back the screws in that we took out from earlier.
The rubber is
So
tight.
with the new rubber, it's tight.
tight.
So putting in the screws, you're just going to have to jiggle it in a little bit and use force to get it in, because it's just not going to go through like that. So we're going to put it one screw here and then the next screw right there. So you kind of just have to jiggle it in there. Yeah. To the tool, the special tool.
6 corner.
So this is the 6 corner. All right, so now we're going to tighten it back up. So now we're tightening up the next one. It's not in yet. Okay. Okay guys, so we got the 2 screws in here and here. So now we're gonna pop the springs right back into this hole and then the next one into that hole. So you kind of just push it in pretty much. Basically you want to make sure this part is underneath that metal part. So we just got one in. Now we're just getting the second one in. Wait, you have to get that, yeah. Okay, so now you pop back that spring in. Okay guys, so once you've done that part, then you're basically finished. All you have to do is pop that wheel back on, then you're all set. You just change the rotor and the brake pads.
Oh, money.
Congratulations.